do good, Mom. I do.
Hey guys, welcome back once again to R&R Reviews Unscripted, where me and my brother are just going to sit around and talk about our reviews and exactly why we feel how we feel. This week is our third horror movie in a row.
Yeah, we just realized that it was not October, guys. Sorry.
Right? So we'll back off the horror films for a little while. Not before we finish talking about this one, though. Is a bird? No, it's a plane. Wait, it's Brightburn, the Superman ripoff.
Alert. If you have not seen this movie, come back and listen to this after you've watched it.
That was the shortest spoiler alert ever. Like, hey, if you haven't seen this movie, turn it off right now. Go watch it and come back.
As you can see on our Facebook page, R&R Reviews, because we didn't name it something else, we gave this film a 5.6 out of 10 points.
Which means that it's above average, all right? 4 is our average meter. This is definitely above average. It's different, and it's definitely worth a view.
It's kind of like if the Superman from Crisis on Two Earths, I believe his name was Ultraman, the one on the evil Earth, it's kind of like his origin story almost.
Yes, so if Superman came to Earth and the story was all the same, but instead of being a good guy, he ended up being the bad guy and murdered his whole family, then yeah, this would be that.
It's kind of like in Dragon Ball Z if Goku had come to Earth and then just decided not to be a good Saiyan, but a bad Saiyan instead.
Yeah, it's also kind of like Superman and if he came to Earth, but he was a bad guy instead of a good guy.
And when there's a full moon, he turns into a giant monkey.
So anyway, here we are, Brightburn. The first in what will probably be a ton of the horror superhero genre, where they're trying to get out of this action-y, feel-good type thing and really establish a whole new genre of superhero movies. Don't get us wrong, Brightburn is enjoyable. I advise you to see it. I think it should have got more attention than it did. But there's definitely some stuff that missed the mark here.
I feel like this movie lacked in a lot of areas, and they went so hardcore with the horror, trying to make it a horror film, I think that it missed a lot of its potential. Also, I did give it really low ratings in a few areas because there was some dialogue and some scenes and some music that feels like it's taken directly from the Man of Steel movie.
And I completely disagree with that because I think that that was the purpose, to make you feel like it was Superman. It was trying to make you, tie into that so closely, and that's why they did that.
But like, I already get that. It's an alien boy who crash landed in Kansas and he has superpowers. I don't need any more to feel like it's Superman. And I certainly don't need to feel like you're stealing from the Man of Steel movie. Don't touch Hans Zimmer's stuff.
Oh, not your precious Hans Zimmer. Hey, I actually liked that. I liked the tie-in, the feel. What I felt it lacked was backstory. I felt it lacked character depth. We jumped in, we moved very quickly into this. There was moments like whenever he finds out that he is an alien and he's not from Earth, he wasn't adopted. I feel like he just accepts it so quickly, and there's no time to really move in that. He had the voices speaking to him from the ship and what would be outside his planet, basically telling him to take over. But I feel like there was a whole lot more that could have been explored within that.
Right. I think another area that really lacked was them casting Russell Crowe as his dad. He just really wasn't a good role fit for this movie.
I am your father, Cal. Or at least a shadow of him. His consciousness. My name was Jor-El.
And I also think that Diane Lane as his mother was definitely questionable casting in this situation.
My suit, son.
I'm so sorry.
It's only stuff, Clark.
Not to mention that young Amy Adams love interest. We were wondering about that the whole time also. She was kind of mean.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S.
Right. I think if they had went with someone like Elizabeth Banks as the mom, maybe, and like David Denman as the father, it probably would have hit a lot harder.
Definitely.
And FYI, it's called a venti because it's 20 ounces. 20! Venti!
I don't know where to start. Ever since they took my bar away from me, I've been doing a lot of thinking.
But overall, this I thought it was good. There was enough jump scares to make it feel scary. I don't think they relied on it too heavily. I did think that the amount of gore that was in it was a little surprising. I didn't expect the things that they showed in the film, not that I haven't seen that sort of thing, but I was definitely surprised. They definitely went for that much darker tone in this.
I think that's probably got to be like half the fun of doing a film like this, though, is to be like, because like in superhero movies and stuff, when they do it, like say for instance, Superman did go ahead and just like punch through somebody's chest all the way through. Even if he did that in a superhero movie, they wouldn't show it. Like they would show him do it, but not show it. You know what I'm saying? So that half the fun of this movie is to show those horrible, gory, horrific things.
Definitely. I mean, I agree. And he definitely gave off a great vibe. I think that his lack of personality and lack of facial expressions really tied into the narcissistic, psychocentric kind of character that he was playing as he, developed into this character that he thinks he's superior and he's here to rule the world, not to save it. He's here to stand firm above. And I think that if this was to get a sequel made, that we would find that maybe he was sent here in the first place for that purpose.
I definitely think this could build into something a lot more too, like, kind of where like he takes over, the world and kind of runs it how he wants kind of thing.
Yeah, this film was written by James Gunn's, I believe, brothers, Brian Gunn, Mark Gunn, or close family. Directed by David Yarovesky, who is close friends with James Gunn and also played a character in one of the Guardians films.
And it was produced by James Gunn.
I saw at the end where they had Michael Rooker pop up on the newscasting station, and he begins to talk about all these different things that are being hidden. He starts mentioning other villains, and it looks to be, which I would assume, they're going to try to build a universe out of this if they become successful enough.
Right, like make an entire evil Justice League. That would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, so we'll see what's to come. If we're looking at the numbers, the budget for this was $6 million. On opening weekend alone, they brought in $7.8 million. Their total worldwide gross was $32 million. Needless to say, I think this film could potentially get a sequel or just another installment into their universe that applies with this.
I'm really surprised that they were able to land, Kevin Costner to play a role in this movie with a budget of only $6 million.
You were sent here for a reason. All these changes that you're going through, one day you're going to think of them as a blessing, and when that day comes, you're going to have to make a choice. A choice of whether to stand proud in front of the human race or not.
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son.
Yes. Yeah. Not to mention Ben Affleck.
And Lawrence Fishburne, too.
Yes.
Moving on.
One of the parts of the movie I did really enjoy is, obviously this kid figures out he's got superpowers, and he knows that he could instantly just, kill whoever he wanted. But when he does choose to kill people, instead he kind of almost tortures them, terrorizes them in a way to just make it that much more worse for them. Like, he enjoys their fear. Like, watching the few scenes where he's, terrorizing, his victim is pretty cool and neat how he does it.
Yeah, he's definitely a psychopath. You can see that coming on so quickly in him as he, quickly finds out he has these abilities and things. And he's going after people that at first it's all motivated by, him not wanting his parents to know, or him trying to get closer to that girl and not be kept away. And it ends on just kind of a crazy killing spree. And then if you watch, I really think that those in credits part, which it wasn't an in credits scene, it was before the credits really, or when he's terrorizing the rest of the world on the news, I think that was really cool too. Like, he just begins to go crazy, and you're seeing him develop into what would be in the future this, world ruling power that you can't stop.
And I gotta give props to the mask that they did for him too, because it was really different and it's really creepy looking.
It is definitely creepy looking. It's interesting to see what he becomes and turns into. I really think the biggest lack for me was just the backstory, just the character depth that I think they could have added. It was only an hour and a half, which is actually pretty short for most movies. I think they could have spent another half hour and really added some depth and some time to really attach ourselves to the emotions and feelings of these characters to grow more with the film.
And for all of those of you guys who don't know, this is a spinoff from The Office series. It is about Roy's life after he leaves Scranton, Pennsylvania. And Obviously, it goes very horribly wrong for him. He never should have messed up what he had with Pam. Or he never would have gotten in this situation.
So overall, we think you should check this flick out. I think it's going to end up being the beginning. It's the predecessor of what will come to pass in this new superhero horror genre. And I think that if they correct some of the small errors they made with this film, we will truly enjoy the franchise that is going to be built off of this, that is coming from this original idea. So looking forward to what comes in the future. Check this film out. Sit in the dark and watch it. It'll freak you out a little bit and just kind of make you wonder, what if Superman wasn't as kind as he's supposed to be? So that's all the time we have today, guys. Thanks again for tuning in as always. Make sure you like and check out our Facebook page and our YouTube page, R&R Reviews. Don't forget, if you want to make a comment or suggestions for reviews or just how you feel, maybe you completely hate our opinion, send it to us. We'd love to hear from you. RogersCinemahood@gmail.com. We'll see you next time.
And like Marlon Brando said, guys, you will travel far, my little Kal-El, but we will never leave you. Remember, it's a beautiful day in the cinema hood.
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more, I bequeath you, my son.